If you don't take care of your workforce, everybody's quiet quitting. Your numbers are going to go down. Your
Yep.
business is going to. Welcome back, folks. We are just trucking along with It's About Your Paycheck,
Yeah,
episode
man.
23. Man, I'm loving it. Oh, did you put it in the chat? Oh, with the recipe. It's St. Patty's Day today, folks. So we are celebrating St. Patty's Day. When you hear this, it'll be next week. But when on the day of recording, we on recording on
Yes.
St. Patty's Day. So we got some different recipes cooking up. Before we get into all that, how you doing, Walt? How you doing, sir?
I am good. Happy St. Patty's Day to you, sir. And yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just in a grateful state of mind, man, and
Me too.
just trying to remain there. And today I have a quote. Before I ask you how you're doing and get into how you're doing and stuff, I'm going to say the
Go
quote,
for it.
man. It's by Eckhart Tolle. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. So abundance,
Yes,
people think of just wealth and stuff, but you can have an abundance of love in your life. You can have
that's
an
right.
abundance of peace, joy,
Yep,
happiness,
yep,
wellness, whatever it is. And so I think once you start looking at the things that you do have and you stop looking at what's missing from your life and
yep,
you start to have this gratitude. So I just wanted to
yep.
start it off with that, man. How are you doing?
Yo, that's a great way to start it off. I love that because you're exactly right. It's not about money. Yeah, it's gosh, that could take us into a whole nother conversation. But I
Yeah.
really I'm loving that. The I'm good, by the way. I'm good, man. I'm really good. This is like the trail end of my birthday week, so I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I had a really great week. Starting off on Monday with my seafood boil that my man sent me over here, bro. While surprised us. And honestly, I thought it was like a little lunch platter. Walt
I
done
did
sent
too.
sent us a final feast, like a feast. What man? We all ate. It was and I didn't get to tell you that I was eating them crab legs for 2 3 days
Really?
after.
Oh
Yes,
my
because
gosh,
that's the
bro.
only thing we didn't kill. Like there was still like a couple of claws left, or how would I, whatever you call them.
Uh-huh.
And shoot, I wasn't putting them things to waste. Like I put them in the fridge, and you know when seafood goes bad
Yes,
immediately with
yes.
smell. That I ate them. I was munching on them things for the Tuesday and Wednesday, basically. And then, so
Uh,
yeah, thank you again for that. Just started the week off on that on that note. It was amazing. The quote that comes to mind for me that it is you can't complain about how full your plate is if your goal was
uh-huh.
to eat.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? People, and that goes for all of us folks out there, right? We sometimes get bogged down and we like, oh, I work so much and work so much, work. But look, what's the opposite of that? Not working and not being able
Yeah.
to put food on the table and not be able to pay rent and not be able to meet your bills. And people look at me and wifey and they're like, oh, they work too much. Not if you love what you do. I just made a big job change, company switch change. I got an opportunity now of a lifetime, really, for me, for somebody
Uh-huh.
like me. What I've been,
Yeah.
I got a dream job, and no shade and no discount to any other job I've ever had. They've all been amazing. I've been very lucky in my career, even in the bad situations. I've always just like what you just said, right? You got to
Yeah.
appreciate what you have. I've always appreciated what I have. That was something that my mom's really passed down to us very well. You got to appreciate what you got. And so
Yeah,
just,
man.
yeah, man. So what I was telling, I just shared with my new team. I'm living that statement of if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love what I do, man. I'm loving what I'm doing, and I there was a moment where I was in life early on. Oh man, I couldn't connect with that. I could connect with it, but I wasn't there yet. I knew
Yeah.
what it meant, but I wasn't there yet. And I was just like, wow.
It's like there's a moment in life where you have a recalibration of focus and what
Yes,
matters, right?
yes,
And so for some of
yes,
you that are listening to this episode right now, you may be in that period where you're trying to figure things out. Trust me, keep going down the path that you're going down.
yes,
Pursue the things that you
yes,
love that bring you joy.
yes,
Even if they don't
yes.
bring the money right now, continue
Yep,
doing it out of the pleasure of your
yep,
heart, and you'll be
yep.
surprised where that may lead you to.
Yes. It's Gary V says all the time, "Oh, if you're frustrated with your 9 to 5, what are you doing with your 5 to 9? What you doing with your 5 to 9? You going
Yeah,
home, you just pigging out,
yeah,
watching TV, blazing something up, having a drink and just laying out? Yeah,
That's
and
the
guess what? You're never gonna get more than that 9 to 5, and
yeah.
you could
If
have
you,
the greatest job in the world.
yeah,
But if you don't love it, it's not the greatest job in the world for you. You know what I'm saying?
man. Yes, sir.
So and I've lived, and way before Gary Vee said it, that's something that I've lived for. Like, it's a hustle mentality, right? And I just learned from my new boss. Shout out to Eric, bro. Shout out to Eric Raps, Rocket Youth Brands, man. We over there killing it. And he said something about the hustle mentality, and I'm not gonna say what areas don't have it or do have it, but we were talking about that concept about just having that hustle, that fire in you. And in New York, it's common. It's very
Yeah.
common for people to
Oh,
have that hustle, that burning desire, right?
and anything to survive and make money for your family. I think
Yeah.
about my first time going to New York, and even to this day, the guys out on the street doing the flips and dancing and
Oh,
interacting and
yep,
getting people just
yep,
stop and just give them money. Like
yep,
however they need to feed their families is how they do it. But they're going out there
yep.
every day, every night, using whatever
Hustling.
skill sets they have
Yep.
to get those funds for
Yep.
their family.
And it's not for none. It's true. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. A lot of bosses in South Florida, they really love that mentality, and that's why I've thrived down here, because unfortunately, in these beautiful vacation type places, everybody is just trying to chill. And so
Yeah,
and I think that's why New Yorkers thrive here, period, because we
yeah,
come down with that hustle mentality and we burning it up, and they're just like, oh yes, I love this guy. You know what I
yes.
mean? Yeah, man.
Not to say that any other group of people don't have hustle mentality, but Brian is just speaking
No,
his
I've definitely,
experience.
yeah,
Saying,
correct. I met some Floridians that have it as well, but it's just like I said, it's not the people, it's the place. It's just the kind of thing. You grow up in a tropical resort type life, vacation
oh
type
yes,
life. It's tough. It's
it's
different.
sunny. It's pretty much sunny all the
It's
time. You get
Yep,
some rain, but it doesn't
yep,
really get cold too cold down there.
yep.
Man,
Trying to
I don't
chill
know.
all the time. Really,
Yeah, I don't
you're
know.
trying
I
to
don't know why
chill.
I
You
left.
know.
Why did I leave? Why did I leave again?
You
Yeah,
like the I think you appreciated the seasons, right? You spent time around the world, which not everybody has gotten to do that. So I think,
yeah.
being that you've been exposed to the world, that damn, this heat is beating on me. Yeah, folks, you got a good glimpse into who we are today. I don't know if we didn't really give an origin story on this show.
No, we haven't. Not at all. Maybe that's something that we can
Oh
do to talk about
man,
ourselves. Look at that.
absolutely,
Look at that.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. We
Let me
never
write
really
that
did
down.
that. Yeah, no, we can do that on here. And for those of y'all who have figured it out, I'm from New York. Walt is from the world. He's army brat, lived all over
Yeah.
the world, right? And me and Walt met down here in South Florida about 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And just immediately, Walt is one of them hustle mentality, just like that burning desire inside. And literally the first day we started working, Walt pulled up
Yeah.
a spreadsheet and was shared the spreadsheet and was like, we're gonna put our ideas on here. And I don't know,
Yeah,
we talked
man.
about it last week. I don't know if it was on this show or not, but the car wash with
It
burgers,
was.
it was on this show.
Yeah.
See, that was the first day I met this dude. Now, mind you,
Mhm.
we just met, we working together. He's already, yeah, what's this next business we gonna do? It was just that type of thing and that type of vibe, man. I encourage folks to do what they love. I think everybody has a place in this world. If you don't, if the hustle mentality in you, then it is what it is. That ain't,
Yeah.
but you can't also complain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want
So,
more,
yeah, exactly. But for me, I think it also boils down back to that quote that started all this conversation, right? Is acknowledging the good. What is good?
yes,
You have some of
yes,
you have shelter and other people don't have shelter.
word,
Some of you have
word.
beds and other people are sleeping on their floor, sleeping outside,
Yep,
sleeping in their
yep,
car. Some of
yep,
you haven't missed a meal in a couple of weeks or days. There's people who are skipping meals daily just to
yep,
feed their children or their loved ones. There's always enough good, right? So like you can have all the money in the world and still be sad because
yep.
you view everything as bad and your perception.
Right,
So your perception has to
right.
change. Look at the things that you do have. It's either your
Yes.
glass is half empty or it's half full.
Yep.
That's the difference in this
Yep.
life,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Hey, no, you said it. You said it, man. You can't say no better than that. Excuse me, bro. Man, I'm sorry, man.
You okay?
Nah, I'm feeling a little sick. Which reminds me, crap, man, I need to put in my sick time.
Oh, what system do you use?
Time track go. The simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. I don't know if you know, man, but it already has a unique graphical employee time card, and it's awesome because it helps you quickly identify and fix the mistakes.
That's right. Now that you say that, they just announced the addition of an automatic PTO accrual earnings, so you can say goodbye to those manual calculations. Time Track Go's new automatic PTO accrual feature takes the hassle out of tracking those earned and accrued times, assuring accuracy and consistency for both employees and HR teams.
Oh, that's golden. That's awesome. You know what? That's right. I remember that. I read that you can choose from various rules like yearly, monthly, pay period, hourly, and hourly percentage to seamlessly align with your company's policies. It includes new state sick leave. Awesome, because I'm not feeling good. That's going to help. And you can do vacation hours that automatically increase with length of service.
Man, like, how can someone find out what a simply better solution could do for their business?
Oh, to learn more, they're always doing a 14-day free trial. Someone should go to their website at www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com. Or if they want to call, the number is 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. All
Man,
right, let's get into it. We got some pay news updates to
sir.
share with folks, and okay, mine's is up first. All right, let's
Hmm.
see. So my article that I'm sharing. So today's topic. Oh, I'm sorry, episode 23. Like I said, but we're talking about not employee engagement, employer engagement, right? Because this is the
Yeah.
show about employees. We just want to come at everything we do on this show. We want it to be from the angle of the folks who get paychecks, right?
Hmm.
We already work. Everybody works for a company. The companies they have to be their own advocates. We are your advocates, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about employee engagement, but really through the lens of an employee and what does that look like?
Hmm.
And the article I found is from Inc. magazine, and it says a Gallup report on engagement shows that companies have a big problem with youth, the younger workers. For some
Mm.
reason, employee engagement numbers for younger employees have been dropping like a rock. Why is that? I don't know. We'll explore it a little bit. And what's up? Shoot.
I can tell you right now because there are the younger generations have access to make money in different ways versus going to work at somebody's restaurant or fast food chain. Like, they can make
Yes.
money on TikTok or Instagram or
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
social media platform they're on. They have access or the ability to get some funds, and it might equal out to the same thing. So why should I go work for minimum wage at a
Yep.
fast food place and I can
Yep.
make that or more doing
From
just
home.
being doing what I love, as we just spoke
Yep.
to, doing the things that I
Yep.
love and just posting on social
Yes.
media all day.
Yes, and salespeople. Think about it, the TikTok shop. The TikTok shop is
Yes.
blowing up. That's really you. They're developing salespeople. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Which, by the way, is the number one paying job in the world, right?
Say
Had
that
I
again,
known
brother.
about that, yeah, number one in the world. If somebody told me that when I was younger, I've been a salesperson for 20 something years now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I
Yeah.
didn't know. But so that is creating a whole new lane of work. And to your point, folks are not just work from home, but they're working doing the things that they love. Because you see people like I see people doing the and it's crazy but I'm like I like it is when they do tours of their where they live so that somebody does it in
Mhm.
New York, right? There's a few people I follow that do it in New York, and I follow them because it's nostalgic. It's, oh man, I know, this spot, that spot, blah blah blah. But I
Yeah.
also follow this dude that does it in Chicago because I have never been.
Mm.
I've been to Illinois, but I've never, and it was just for work, and it was like a commute in and out in the same day. and but I've never been around the city. So this guy does the city like that. There's probably somebody in Miami. So different, just different lanes. And my point was, you don't necessarily have to be home. They're outside, they're doing things, but they're using social media as this platform to create a new lane of revenue, and it is killing jobs. It's
Yeah.
killing the job market.
I just shared something with you about that
Yes.
on
Yep.
TikTok, right? It said,
Yep.
what did it say? 62% of restaurants report being understaffed.
Yep. Yep. So Walt sent me this TikTok or video about the first AI driven. It looks like a burger joint.
It
They
is.
said something. The name is something, but it just looks like a burger joint, and not whatever. But what you notice is how we talk about AI, that we still need that human liaison, because the last steps, if you saw, the finishing touches still get done by a human. But the work, the dangerous part of it, frying the fries, making the burgers, the dangerous part of the cooking is done by the machines.
Yeah.
And then it gets, I guess, whatever assembly, whatever it is, and the person is finishing it off and putting it out. It's changing the landscape of things. And this Gallup report shows that engagement has stagnated for US employees, and that has some pretty serious implications for employers. According to the report, only 33% of US employees were engaged in their work and workplace in 2023, representing a lost productivity of $1.9 trillion,
Hmm.
right? But
Yeah.
when Gallup dug a bit deeper into the data, they found that some very interesting and concerning. It was differences in age groups. Here, by far, the most engaged group of employees is baby boomers. Baby boom, they know they built. For me, boomers built corporate America, right? And those folks were born between 46 and 64. According to this report, 36% of boomers are engaged at work. An increase, they say, in by 2 percentage points from March of 2020. That's right,
Wow.
because it's the work ethic, right? So as the younger ones went down, somebody had to pick up the slack. So while it's good news for business leaders, the news is not so good when it comes to younger workers. In fact, it's pretty brutal. Gallup found that the percentage of engaged Gen X employees, and me and you fall in. Oh no, you don't. I'm a Gen
Right,
X.
right in between the
Yeah, you're
cusp.
on the cusp. Yeah, but you're more on the next one. It fell from 35 to 31%. Interesting. And the numbers for older group of millennials, that be you, fell a whopping 7% from 39
Wow.
to 32. And then finally, the Gen Z and the young millennials fell 40, oh no, fell 5% from 40 to 35%, a drop in 5 percentage points. So with this
Mm,
information, what can you do to increase engagement for your young people? I don't know. That's for the employers to figure out. But
yeah.
the point of the article was like, it's just that we talking employee engagement. That's We're going to define it in a little bit after Walt
Yeah.
shares his, but I just want to drop that nugget out there just as a teaser to employee engagement.
Yeah.
And as we go through it, man, younger folks, I actually love what the young folks have done for the workforce, because they came to the workforce like, we're not accepting toxic masculinity. We're
No.
not accepting toxicity, period. We're
Yep.
not accepting mistreatment. We're not
We,
accepting
we're
these
not
things,
we're not
right?
accepting burnout culture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We're not accepting that. And we want to like where we work. We want to be treated. We want to be paid.
Yes,
We want
bro.
to have the things that you want us to go to the office. We need snacks. We need comfort. We need, you know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like, we need all these things.
Yep.
So I'm loving it, because I came from a place where it was like burnout culture, right? And the
Yep.
burnout culture was the way to win. So I'm like, now it's like, whoa, I don't have to burn out to succeed at this job. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's an amazing thing, man. What you got for us before I yap everybody's head off?
No, you're good, man. So that was a great article that you shared. And when I posted my article here, I was almost thinking about the same thing, right? But I came from a different angle. Like, what employee relations issues could impact employees being engaged at work? So I looked
Oh,
up
yeah.
the six most common employee relations issues to see.
Things that
And
would make them disengage, basically, or
yes,
that
yes,
okay.
yes,
Ah,
yes.
oh, what a see how the universe works, but Mind you, guys, we do not pre-plan. We
Mm,
pick a topic and then we prepare on our own and come together.
yes.
And I love the way we do it. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So my article is from .net, and it's about the six most common employee relations. I won't read everything. I'll just go through what the most common ones are, and I'll ask you,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those of you that are employees, do you identify with any of these at
Word,
all? You know what I'm saying?
word.
And have they impacted your um and level of engagement at work? The number one most common employee relation issue is an hours work dispute. Employees
Yep,
may dispute working hours, which may cause potential conflicts. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
So, like, especially if there's no clear, concise explanation from the employer to us as employees, and if nobody's taking the time out to really explain to us the regulations and the rules behind things, then that can cause issues. The number
yep,
two most common employee relation issue is pay raise. You may feel as, hey, I've been doing the work, I've been going above and beyond, and you think you may deserve a little bit more than the 3% or 2% raise that everybody gets, right? That may cause you to want to be less engaged at work, especially if
yeah,
they're like, no, hey, it's common for
yep,
everybody to get 2 or 3%, and that it is what it is. And sorry to tell you that that can make you want to check out as an employee.
yep.
Annual leave management. That could be a FMLA, like maternity leave, or that could be PTO from what I read in
Hmm.
this thing. So that could be difficult, right? Especially if you work hard and your company only gives you 1 week of PTO or 2 weeks of PTO. Some people start to complain and say, hey, I only get 2 weeks of PTO and I've been here 5, 10 years. And that's the
Yeah.
cap
Ooh.
for us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that
That's a
can
tough
make
one.
a person want to be disengaged.
Yeah.
And hey, I can't take any time off. You know what I'm saying? Speaking to the burnout culture that you and I experienced, you remember those blackout dates that we used to have to go as payroll professionals?
Yes.
Like, hey,
Yep.
you want to spend time with your family, but hey, there's some days you can't take PTO, especially
Yep.
depending on the setup of your team. You might not be able to leave, or because it might throw everything off. So
Hmm.
that can really mess with employee engagement. And then number four is interpersonal conflicts. So you may have some beef with your team members. Somebody on your team may rub you the wrong way, especially if there's some favoritism or something like that at work. That whole team, you and I have experienced that, Brian,
Oh yeah.
where
Oh
you know,
gosh. Yes.
no, we've been through that where it messes with the morale, and then if it messes with the morale, that can affect the people's work ethic and their quality of output. So
Yep.
that's another thing. The number five issue is attendance issues, especially if somebody's always calling out sick. If you have this member of the team who's always like doing the bare minimum and stuff like that, and always unavailable, taking a like 2 hour lunch and like always scrambling and always rushing to do their work, like this can really mess with other team members and make them want to, hey, this person can do this, especially if there's no repercussions. It can make them feel
Word.
like, hey, like, what the heck is going on? And
Hmm.
then the last thing, the last of the six most common employee relations issues is workplace safety. So some
Yeah. Oh
some
hell yeah.
companies, yeah, some companies don't do a good job of, or they're not as mindful as they could be when it comes to employee safety at work. And if somebody gets hurt at work, there's gonna be like, okay, man, like this job is too dangerous for me.
Yep.
And they start thinking about their families and what if it takes me out and stuff like that, right?
Yep. It was the article, the video you sent. That's folks were they don't want to fry French fries and they don't want to make
Hmm.
burgers. They don't want to be on the grill. They getting burned. The conditions
Yep.
aren't safe back there in the kitchen. People getting cut, people getting burnt. They don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, and I think it's just worth mentioning, employee disengagement is the same as quiet quitting. And
Okay.
the buzz, yeah, that's the term for this. Been that's the employee term for this. Employers are calling it employee engagement. Employees is like, hey, that's quiet quitting. We done know.
Yeah.
So just to put it in perspective, that is the same thing, folks. That's what we're talking about. And yeah, man, the stuff is
Yep.
real. Like
Yes, it is.
it's yeah, that's it.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's get into it. So then what does employee engagement really mean, right? So employee engagement describes the level of enthusiasm and dedication a worker feels toward their job. Employee engagement can be critical to a company's success, not can be, is critical to a company's success, given its links to job satisfaction, employee morale. Engaged employees are more likely to be productive and higher performing. Absolutely. Not can be, it is critical. There's a statement out there that says if you take care of your people, your workforce, they will take care of your business,
Yep.
right? It's because there was a time where employers and companies, and look, if you've been out there in the workforce for a while, you know what I'm talking about, where companies just
Yeah.
focused on customer service. It was like,
Yep.
oh, we have to get the customers always right. Customer service, blah, blah, blah. We're going to drive numbers, KPIs, and customer
Yeah.
service. But then they
Yeah.
started realizing, wait a minute, somebody was brilliant enough to realize if I take care of my employees, my workforce, they're going to take care of the customer service for me. They're
Wow.
going to be happy enough to say, I got it. And it's creating that crucial influence that you have on your workforce. If you don't take care of your workforce, everybody's quiet quitting. Your numbers are going to go down. Your
Yep.
business is going to suck. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So, really good information to process. And folks, I'm sorry, but we don't have all the answers because I'm thinking about now, man, what about those workers that are just really hating their life because of their job, and some places are really bad to work at. It's not always the person that has a bad mentality of it.
Yeah, it could just
Go
be
ahead, go
like,
ahead.
hey, we're short staffed. Think about the like we spoke to in the beginning of the episode, right? We talked about the restaurant workers, and I know we keep going back to them, but if
No,
they're
it was just relevant. Yeah, we just yeah.
if 62% are of restaurants are understaffed, then that means there's stress on the people that are actually showing up to work. And so
Yes.
think about that comes into a factor. So when you pull up in the drive-through and they're not as pleasant with you because they've been having a rough day, someone so called out, and they haven't been able to take a lunch, and they've been on their feet for 14 hours that day, they may not be so friendly
I'm
to you.
I'm gonna next time I go to take my little one to McDonald's, I'm gonna bless them with some Dunkin' Donuts or something because we frequent McDonald's a lot, and I see the stress when I see them and you can see it when I'm nice to you know I try to be pleasant, custom, good, thank you so
Yeah,
much, and appreciative because they're serving my food. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, how in
yeah,
the world will you give these people that are serving your food a hard time?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
beyond me. They have your food. You know what
Yes,
so I'm,
yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
drop them some donuts or something. I wish it could be more, but look, man, shout out to all y'all that are actually out there grinding it out at these
Yeah,
fast food places that that make it happen for us because it's not hard. It's not hard. One more thing before I hand it off is what is an example of employee engagement in the workplace, right? So good examples of employee engagement include employees that show up to work with a sense of purpose, a deep commitment to the organization, dedication to performing well, a collaborative attitude, good communication between coworkers and leaders, and the ability to give and receive feedback positively. This one I like. That last point I like. They're all important, but I really like this one because not everybody feels like they can talk to their bosses or they can talk to HR without being like
yeah,
targeted and whatever. Giving and
yes.
receiving good feedback.
Yes. Before I go into mine, and it's interesting because, like Brian said, we have a little walkthrough, but we never planned it out fully. Oh, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. So it's
Nope.
good as I segue into my point about our roles as employees in enhancing engagement at work, right?
Ooh,
So
perfect.
it's good because Brian touched on some of those in his. But before I do that, I want to pull up some. I want to talk about some percentages that I just pulled up here, and I think it
Mm-hmm.
may have been in some of the things that you
Go
talked
for it.
about. But there was a November 2023 Gallup poll that was taken, and so November is just a few months ago.
Yep.
It said that out of all the U.S. employees, only 33% are engaged at work. It says while 17% show up and just do the bare minimum and on their
Do
phones
their
and just
job at least.
do
They
their
at least
job.
do their job. Right.
Are
They're not
active,
enthusiastic about it,
yeah,
but they
they're actively disengaged. Like they're
do
checked.
it.
That means they're
Right.
checked out. And then the other part of this is that according to peoplemanagingpeople.com, engaged employees increase productivity by 14%.
Wow.
So think about it. Those 33% of people that are actively engaged are increasing productivity and probably covering up for the people that are actively disengaged.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
So
that can
30
definitely impact. Yeah, go ahead.
so no, 33% are actively are not engaged. Or no, are engaged. 33% are engaged.
Yes.
And then you said what? It was 20% that are just doing their job.
No, 17% that are actively disengaged. That means they're like they go to work and they're
Oh,
like, I'm not doing
they're
nothing.
on purpose not doing.
Yes.
Oh, dang. Oh, okay. I
Almost
missed that part.
20%.
My bad. That's why I got confused. And then the
The rest
33% again,
the
the
rest
rest
so,
are what?
so that's 50%. So that means everybody else is just I'm going in and I'm doing my job. And
The,
that's it.
the
I
how
I
you kind
clock
of
in at
just coasting,
yes, I clock
just
in at
kind of
9,
coast.
I leave at 4:59
So
p.m.
they're neither over
Disengage.
they're not disengaged or overly engaged. They're just all right. So 50% are just showing up, doing their job, getting through the day. Fair. Okay,
Yep.
I get it now.
So
Wow,
so
man. Yeah, no.
yes.
And I wonder, folks, where do you feel like y'all fall in that, right? And yeah, reach out and tell us, reach out and let us know whenever you hear this episode, even if it's months from now. Oh, they're not thinking about this anymore. Yeah, we are. We still think about this
Yeah.
stuff all the time.
Yeah.
This is our job. This is our work. This is a cheat code for us. This
Yeah.
makes us better at our job. Our job makes us
Yes.
better at this. Yes, don't ever hesitate to reach out. Right now, the biggest platform that we are on for this show is Facebook, really. But we are
Mhm.
on LinkedIn as well. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Um,
Yeah.
dang, man. Wow, this is great. Wait, so wait. Oh, you didn't even get into your points yet. Go
No,
ahead.
but yeah, I'm about to get into my 7 points for here really quick. So, number one, you as an employee, these are things that you could do to enhance engagement, your own engagement at
Got it.
work. So,
Right.
number one,
You
maintain
want to
work
level
and
up. Okay.
yes, you
Sorry,
want
go
to
ahead.
maintain work and life balance. That means you take
Yes.
ownership of managing your workload and your personal
Yes.
responsibilities. And you have to
Yes.
communicate proactively with managers about your workload and your deadlines. So that means you
Yeah.
set the table and you set the expectation like, hey, boss, this is what I need to do. I'm a single parent. I need to go pick up my kids at this time. So at this time, I need
Yep.
to do this and do that. You need to set those boundaries and maintain that. And that may help you remain engaged at work, especially if your company is, hey, yeah, that's fine. Hey, as long as you get your work done and you need to meet all your deadlines, we're good.
Yep.
That may help you as an employee want to remain engaged, but you have to set those boundaries, right? You want to number two, you want to prioritize well-being. So
Yeah.
actively participate in wellness initiatives and seek support when needed. Practice self-care and mindfulness to manage your stress effectively. So we're especially no matter what type of work you do, whether that's you have an office job, you have physical labor, whatever that may be, you're going to have different levels of stress, whether that's mental stress, physical stress, whatever. So you want to definitely make sure that you take care of yourself as the employee so you don't experience that mental exhaustion or that physical exhaustion so much. Make sure you're sleeping enough, make sure you're eating enough, do what you have to do to make sure you take care of yourself, and that that will definitely help you at work. So
Yes. Heck
num-
yeah.
number three, and this is to the point that the last point that Brian gave is
Yes.
provide feedback and stay informed. You want to engage in feedback opportunities provided by your organization. Offer constructive feedback and suggestions for improvement to contribute to a positive work environment. That is us. We, as the employees, should speak up and say, "Hey, maybe if we did this, maybe if we did that," and give our insight as employees to the company so it can help the company be better, right?
Yep.
Once if the company is better, then it's going to make the lives for us better as employees. That's just my opinion.
Hmm.
And then you
Ideally,
also
it should. Yep.
yeah. And then you also want to stay updated on company news and policies through the internal communication channels and actively engage with
Yes.
relevant information and initiatives. So when you
Yes.
log in, it's let's say you have an ADP and an ADP workforce now, you can have different things from your company that's posted there and stuff
Most
that
of
can
them.
be
Yep.
very
Hmm.
helpful to you as the employee. Oh,
Read the
I didn't know
newsletters.
that.
Yep.
Read the
Yep.
newsletters, read this, read that. That will
Yep.
help you remain engaged and be informed. Number four, I found interesting. You want to be able to adapt to remote work as an employee, right? So that means that kind of feeds back into that number one for me: maintain work and life balance. So let's say
Mhm.
because of COVID, you had to adjust how you do things, and now you work fully remote, or you're in a hybrid situation, and you don't put your kids into daycare all day, or you're able to go pick them up now. You want to be able to adapt to that and make sure that you adapt your life according to your work schedule, right? And embrace
Yep.
those challenges and opportunities of remote work, and maintain communication with colleagues and participate in the virtual meetings and in the activities. So if you're remote and your company has a monthly or bi-monthly company meeting or gathering, don't miss out on those. There could be some helpful information. One of the things I asked Brian a little while ago, before he went on to his current job now, I asked him, "Hey, what do you notice that I could do better?" Right? When it comes, and one of the things he pointed out to me, "Hey, be more present in meetings. I know you're trying to do this. I know you're trying to do that. I know you're like, hey, you're going that go getter and trying to multitask, but you might miss some important information in the middle of the meeting." And I was like, "Oh wow, you know what? That yeah, there's been plenty of times that I've done that and looked at my other screen, looked at an email, replied to an email, and I missed something that was important for me. Whether even if it wasn't something a duty that I had to do or my team had to do, I missed an important nugget of information."
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
number five, you want to clarify your expectations. So go to your boss and seek in your manager or your HR team or your payroll team and seek clarity on your job responsibilities and organizational goals, and communicate openly with your managers about your concerns or areas where additional guidance is needed. Brian spoke to this earlier. Sometimes you might be scared to speak up because, hey, if I don't know something, how's my boss going to look at me? And I've been in places like that. I'll share a personal story really quick, not to drag it on, but I'll share a
No.
story where I asked a question to my one of my managers at this place that I worked, and because I asked the question, and because I was still new there, I didn't know how they done stuff. I had other experiences in my payroll career, and this woman said, "Are you stupid?
Yo,
Are you stupid?" And I
he's
was just
told me this
like,
before too, and every time I'm like, "What in the hell?"
yeah, and I was just like, and I chirped back. I was like,
Whew.
"Don't call me that. I just asked a question.
Word.
I don't care
Word.
if you're my boss, right? You should is your so I say that to say it's okay. It should be okay for you to ask those questions, right? You want to clarify your expectations. Hey, am I doing this right?" That's basically what I was asking her. Hey, am I doing this right? Am I thinking of this right? Right?
That's
And
great questions that we need to ask. Yeah.
yeah, and some of you may have been in that or currently going through that. So continue to do that. And if you work for a place that has poor boundaries and says offensive stuff, then you might want to look at different means or whatever, because that can
For
clearly
real.
make you want to check out. And then number six, we talked about already, you want to be active in your participation, right? You want to engage and be collaborative. Brian said the same thing. Collaborate with different teammates and different
Mhm.
departments in the organization, whether that's in person or virtual. Contribute your different ideas and perspectives to foster teamwork and innovation, right? Think about that. Imagine if you had an idea that may change the way things are done at your job. Or just you may say, hey, you may give a suggestion that sparks something else in somebody else, and then, oh, what about if we do it this way? Just because from you not being afraid to speak up and participate actively. And
Yep.
then number seven, and the last one here, you want to engage with benefits, and you want to also celebrate the achievements. Take advantage of the employee benefits and perks offered by the organization. You could have how many times I've worked for some place and the employees there didn't know that they had employee discounts and perks and stuff like that.
Yes. I got a note to talk about that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times has that happened? And people were like, "Oh, wait, I can save them a Verizon bill." Look, I can save
Yep.
on my I can save on
Yep.
groceries. I can save on
Yep.
I love going to the theme park, so I can save on an annual pass if I didn't know that, and that may encourage
Yes.
engagement for you as the employee. So take advantage of those. Seek out the different employee benefits and perks that your organization offers. Go to your HR folks, and they'll point you in the right direction. Hey, do we have any perks here? And then
Yeah.
you want to give feedback on those as well. And then also the another thing that you want to do that may help you and others remain engaged is you want to recognize the accomplishments of your colleagues and yourself and celebrate the team wins and successes. Show your
Absolutely.
appreciation for the efforts of others to foster a positive and supportive work culture. Support each other, man. We need each other in this thing.
Yep.
Conclusion: employee engagement is a collaborative effort between the employers and the employees. By fostering open communication, as Brian said, supporting well-being and recognizing contributions, organizations can contribute to a positive work environment where employees feel valued and are motivated to excel. This is what you can do. That means get involved. In a nutshell,
Yeah.
we as the
Yeah.
employee need to get involved. And if your employer is not doing right by you or your peers or coworkers, whatever you want to call them,
Yep.
then you may want to start looking at other means and options. Anything you want to add
Yeah.
to any of that, bro?
Yes. I made a note specifically.
Yes.
So we're trying to keep some notes here. So like the main number one, the maintain your work life balance. It and the way it said take ownership of managing your workload, right?
Yes.
It that can mean a lot of different things. So folks from people I learned I got the idea from a CEO. Damn, if I remember his last name, I would shout him out. Here we go. Ah, boom. Yeah, it is Costa. Jose Costa. He's now leading a different enterprise, but we worked together somewhere. He was my CEO at one point. Wrote a book, and he said he and I adopted the same thing. He said he works from 9 to 5, but
Mm-hmm.
5 to 9 is his family time, right? You got to balance
Mm,
things out. Right, have dinner with his kids. We can play a game, blah, blah, whatever. Put his kids to bed, and then from 9 to whenever you tolerate is yours. He jumps back
mm-hmm.
on, gets some work done, right? Boom, the email, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I've adopted that same pattern, and it's done wonders for my career, right? Because
Yeah.
now I'm not, and when I jump back on, it doesn't always mean that I'm jumping back on to do to do work from my 9 to 5. I do some
Yes.
podcast work, right? I'm teaching now, so it's prepping for teaching and courses. It's doing other part-time things, whatever the case may be. You have that now a whole nother time slot where you can be productive and sleep I'm not saying don't sleep, but you measure that out how you need to sleep, and you plan your
Mm-hmm.
life out accordingly. But that's what
Yes.
taking ownership of your workload, that's what that means, right? Don't
Yep.
wait for nobody's going to tell you how to do this. Nobody's going to tell you how to be successful, because guess what? They're doing it. They're grinding it
Mm-hmm.
out. They're not going to give you the cheat code, but
Mm-hmm.
we're here to give you the cheat code. You know
Yes.
what I mean? You may not like the way it sounds, you may not love it, but this is how it is. Now, are there
Yeah.
different roads to success? Absolutely. There's 100 different roads. You
Yep.
find the one that works for you. What was the other one? Oh, the force. It's not force, but the what was it? Adapt to remote work. That might
Uh,
sound. Yeah, and I noticed you said you found it interesting, because it may sound crazy to folks because not everybody can work from home. No, some people don't want to work from home.
mm-mm.
Now, we embraced it. I think we embraced it just fine, but there are people who struggle to work from home because they can't stay productive from home. They're
Yeah.
too tempted by watching TV, cooking, or the cleaning, even doing housework or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
taking care of the kids. Guess what? I don't recommend that you try to raise a toddler or a non-school age kid and be home from work. That's probably not going to work. I'm a parent. I'm gonna tell you that I don't
Yeah.
think that's gonna work. Cause shoot, I tried in the pandemic. I was forced to be home with my girls, and it
Yeah.
wasn't productive. It wasn't productive. They want a million snacks during the day. It's ridiculous.
Like I'm working. I am
I'm working.
working.
Yeah, I'm working. Hello, I am actually working. So now, so what I my suggestion to that is, if you're forced, because guess what, most places will be like, oh, you don't want to work from home, you come on back to the office. But I get, maybe you got a remote job only and there is no option of going into the office.
Yeah.
Create the remote place. Go to somewhere else. Go to Starbucks. Go somewhere else. If you can, try to create an environment where you have to leave your house and go work. You know what I mean? It
L-
just throwing that
l-
out there for those of them
l-
that have to.
a
Oh, sorry.
library, a library, like
I was thinking the library, something
even
like that.
some hotels that have free internet and
Yes.
stuff. You can go sit in the
Yes.
and they won't even bother you or whatever.
There, there's a shared, not that you need to spend money or whatnot, but there's a shared workspace. I'm actually in a shared workspace right now. And I have
Mm,
a feeling we have an office in that shared workspace, but I have a feeling that there are folks who don't have an office there and I would imagine they pay just to sit in the common areas and work
yes.
and
Yeah.
they have a place to go work because they don't want to work at
Yes.
home. So that might be a lot more affordable. So no, I don't need an office. I just need somewhere with Wi-Fi and I can get on my calls.
Or they say they don't have their space or the room at home to work like that because their partner or their significant other
Yes, also
works from
works from
home.
home. Yep.
And so,
Yep.
hey, and they have their kids there. Like
Yep.
it could be a myriad of things, and
Yeah.
which is
Hell
why
yeah.
this thing said you have to adapt to it.
Yes. My wife, she doesn't work from home, but when she doesn't work from home as a rule, she works from
Yeah.
home. Same thing with me, right? We work like that. She comes home, throws another few hours in, and when she after some family time, same
Mhm.
deal. She had to relocate her office because we were in the same area at one point, but I'm so loud that her I was on her meetings and didn't need to be. Like her people were like, Mill, who's screaming? Whose man's voice so loud?" And Millie's, "Oh, it's my husband. He's right here." So she had to relocate her space because I actually did work from home, right? And she didn't. So she's
Mhm.
okay. She adapted to it. So whatever you got to do, try to adapt. And then the other one, did that and that one. The info you covered it basically. The information at work, you don't even realize there's discounts available. There's opportunities to do things. You think you can't say my company sucks if you're not even keeping tabs on what the company is offering.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
you missed the barbecue. Company had a barbecue last weekend. You missed it.
that's perfect because you kind of I was going to a question and I remember it's perfect that you said that. You remember not the one that we did for payroll when we were at that other place when we
Yes.
first, but it
Uh
was
huh.
the company sponsored one.
Yep. I
And,
remember.
and you remember that, like me, I was like, oh, we're trying to win and stuff like that. And then like,
Uh huh.
and then I realized when we ended up like being one of the top teams there, but I realized that everybody else wasn't even really actively participating. They were just like, we're
No.
just
Yeah, they
here,
weren't engaged.
we're
Yeah.
just weren't engaged. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
here I am, Mr. Tryhard, being
Yeah.
engaged and trying to have fun and trying to win. And it was just like, oh, geez, nobody even really cared to be here.
No, free food, a day out of the office,
Yeah,
free food because it was during the work day, so everybody
yeah.
was happy to leave, not be at work
Hmm.
that day. Yeah, exactly right. It's folks, they're just disengaged and they're there for the free food, and that's okay. But I promise you, if you change your attitude just a little bit at work, and you kind of, what did you get, Mister Try Hard? If you
Right.
got a little bit of that, that will
Hmm.
go a million miles for you at work.
Yeah,
Just look, what was the stat? It increased by 14 productivity by 14%. You know what I mean? Because imagine when you're just like borderlining it and disengaged, you're dropping your productivity so much
yeah,
that it's going to get noticeable at some point. Yeah, man, that's really good stuff, man. I hope that folks and something just, hey, hopefully it helps
yeah.
you maybe look at things a little different. Stop worrying about what it's like. It reminds me like that the school mentality. Oh, you're a teacher's pet. You're a teacher's pet. Like,
Yes,
hey,
yes,
you're
yes,
at
yes,
work
yes.
now. This is your paycheck. This is your livelihood. This is what you're using to live, to take care of your families, take care of your own life. Don't
You
listen to that one who the what is it, the slacker. Don't listen to the
yes.
slacker. They're
Don't
not,
allow
it's not cool kids anymore.
yeah.
We got work
We're
to do. We got a
we're
paycheck.
not in high school. Like
Which
you shouldn't succumb to peer pressure. You shouldn't allow
nope.
anybody else to make you feel bad because you're
Word.
working hard. And I went through it when I first met Brian. I used to get ragged on and people used to say some pretty messed up stuff
Yeah. Yep.
because I was in there working and trying to learn from Brian and asking questions instead of just sitting at my desk and just like sitting around.
Mhm.
I was trying to say, hey, this is my work ethic. I'm putting in this, doing this. So hey, how can I help? What can I learn? Trying to gather all this information. And that's
Yep.
what's gonna help you excel in life. You shouldn't expect to excel as an employee if you're not actively engaged. Like just don't sit there and
Word.
expect,
Perfect.
hey, why haven't I gotten the top percentage of raise? How come this person got a 10% raise but not me? I do enough.
Word.
I'm a good You could be a middle of the pack good employee,
Yep.
but you might just get that 5%, 4% raise and not get what the other person is getting because they're grinding and they're
Yep.
helping out and they're
Yep.
staying late. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's just my
Exactly
opinion.
right. Say it again. What'd you say? Do you
It's
remember
just
what you
my
just said?
opinion. What?
No, you can't expect to do more if you're not engaged. Something like.
Yes, you can't. If you're a middle of the pack worker, don't expect top worker or high performer results or pay if you're just
That's
right
right.
in the middle of the pack.
That's right. That's when you edit this episode. When you said it right before here, that's your little nugget to start this episode with. Perfect, bro. It nails it on engagement, right? You can't expect more if you're not doing more, basically. But the way you said it, can't. It was perfectly articulated, man. Yeah, man.
Okay.
I love it, bro. Well, with a little safe talk now.
Safe talk's gonna be. I think we're gonna be able to answer this pretty quickly before we roll out, and then a
I-
teaser for the next show. So let me ask you a question, bro.
yep.
Who is more responsible for workers being engaged at work, more engaged at work? The employer or are we the employee? Who's
I
more
don't.
responsible?
You said. I think you said this is an easy question. It's not an easy question. We don't put easy questions here, so I don't know what he's talking about. It's not an easy question. This is a hard one because it's almost a balancing act of. Sorry, my little one is like dancing over here at me, but it's a balancing act of. You're okay, baby. It's a balancing act of the employer and the employee. It's both. It's the employee. How can I say the employer cannot expect more from their employee if they're not doing their part, and the same is true for the employee, right? We can't
Yes.
expect the employer to do more if we're not doing our part.
Yes.
Now, there's of course there are exceptions. Yeah, oh, but Brian, you guys are you guys obviously successful and you love your jobs and blah blah blah. But we didn't always. We weren't. We see that's the thing. We behave this way even with bad bosses, even at toxic environments. You know what I'm saying? We
During stressful
behave the same
times.
way. Stressful times.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I had horrible bosses sometimes, man. Oh my gosh, and I outlived all of them. Thank goodness, not outlived, stayed
I
them
know what
at
you
that.
meant.
Like you know what I mean? But because you gotta just go with that same energy, go with that
Yeah.
same that. And
Yeah.
folks, you act because this is people be like, oh, these guys are overachievers and blah blah blah. Look, in high school, man, I did exactly that. I went to school high. It was don't think, oh,
Yeah.
this guy's been an overachiever. No, I was not. I was
I was
the cool kids in
I
high
was a C
school.
I was a C student. I used to be
Yeah, me
daydreaming
too.
in class, just like,
BCs. My teachers I used to drive my teachers crazy because they
yeah,
saw that I was smart. They saw it. They like, and I always got the same thing on my report cards. If Brian engaged in work, he would be so much better. If he engaged, he if applied there. That's the one. That's the one they use. If he applied himself, he would be so much better. I was
yes,
middle of the road. All I
yes,
was worrying about was hanging out with my boys, getting the next starter coat, getting my sneakers, going to
yeah,
hang on the Ave, just distraction, all the high school distractions, all of it. I
yes,
did.
bro.
All, I actually failed my my first semester of senior year, and I
Hmm.
had to make up. It extended my day on the last semester, and I actually went to night school as well. Shout out to Jamaica High School, all y'all Queens heads out there. Night school at Jamaica was not fun. And I had to do all kind of stuff because I was slacking the first semester and I had to make up. This is my senior year, mind you. And to
Hmm.
graduate now, I had to do this. Please don't take it like, oh, this guy. No, I was not always that this person I am now.
You're speaking from experience, right? You're trying to say,
Yep.
hey, this is what is going to get you there, and it's cliche to say, like,
Yeah.
I can't say anything else different than what you just articulated for the question. it is a balancing act, right?
Yep.
It's the only thing I can
Yes.
say is you have to think about it in terms of this. It's a partnership, relationship,
Yes.
marriage. That's
Yes.
how you have to
Yes.
hear, right?
Yes.
There might be some
Yes.
days in a relationship where somebody has to give 80% and another because the other person can only give 20, and that's
Yep.
okay. It's give
That's
and
okay.
take.
Pick it up.
It's give.
Yep. Pick your partner up. Yep.
It happens sometimes, and so that's what you have to think about this relationship. You have just as many rights and to everything just as the employer does, but you have to actively participate as the employer and the employee. That's all I
Yep.
can say. You know what I'm saying?
Th-
Like
Drop the
apply
mic.
yourself.
You're done.
Yep.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm not. There's nothing else to say. Oh, shout out to Queens, by the way. You know
There
what
you
I mean?
go.
Kings of Rock. So that's it, folks. Again, I don't. I think we have said it in the beginning episodes. We're not coming at, oh, you should this there. No, no, we're coming from. If come on, you want to show your space. Go ahead.
Hey world.
Mwah. All right, baby. We're not like trying to talk at y'all. We're trying to talk with
Yeah.
you and show you that a little effort can go a very long way in this work. And look, and I'm not shoot. I'm also saying you don't have to. We're not in corporate advocates. No, you got to go work in corporate America. No, whatever you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. So
Boom.
whatever you're doing out there, just put that extra effort in. Do it right. Do something. Try to do what you love. If you're young in the game right now, do what you love, and the money will follow. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm all about the TikTok, YouTube. Like you creating this whole new lane, and I love it. I love it. Some of us older folk don't understand it. They're like, What do you mean? You want to be a YouTube star? Or you want to be a
Hmm.
TikTok star?" They
Hmm.
don't get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I'm not saying you have to go work at corporate. No, not at all. But wherever that is, even if it's your own company, think about it. If you're leading a team and you're not engaged and you're not bursting with passion every single day, your team, look what Gary Vee says. Gary Vee tells other CEOs, how do you expect your team to work just as hard as you if they're not making the money you make?
Yep.
You can't expect that. So you got to level set your expectations. If you're the boss listening to this show and you're like, I'm the boss, this doesn't apply to me. Yes, it absolutely does,
Yes.
because we're all looking at the boss for our leadership, for our energy, for that. Wait, how excited should I be? Because if he
Hmm.
don't care, why do I? If she don't care, why should I care?
Yep. Well said, sir.
Yeah, folks,
Man,
we
check
gonna
in next
yeah,
week. We're gonna have season
we,
1 and 2 review. It's about your
yes,
paycheck, and we're gonna
yes.
have some helpful reminders for you for the tax season. All
Yes.
right.
Tax season, folks. Let's get ready. Don't forget. Oh, I got so many notes for that. That's gonna be another great episode. Yeah, folks. Yeah. I'm excited, y'all. If y'all didn't notice, energy levels are up. Let's get it up. Let's get it going. Let's get pumped going into
Yes.
this work week. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Engage, folks. Engage. And until the next
Engage.
time, we love you. Peace.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok. Thank you for being a part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.